Okay, class, you are looking at your paper, Financial Management 2A. You are looking at assignment 1. All right, this is your assignment 1, and I'm sure all of you have it. Actually, you should work at least minimum 10 hours on your assignment paper. And I urge you, because you are going to submit this assignment, I think on Monday, please double check again your submission date. Just make sure that you submit on time and avoid losing marks, right? So it would be quite important that you focus. All of you who have not completed yet a draft of this assignment, just make sure that over the weekend you spend enough time to completing this assignment. This is the kind of assignment you want to get 100% and not miss out because, I mean, it's just going to be a pity if you fail this assignment, right? It's only 3 questions, right? 3 questions, and I would say that it's mostly covering Learning Unit 1 and Learning Unit 2, right? So again, guys, if you are a little bit late in completing this assignment, just make sure you take proper time this weekend to complete this assignment properly, and so that you can submit it when on the due date. Question 1, it is a case study, as you can see, and that there is this scenario that is provided to you. I'm sure that you've had a good read of it. It's simple, it is easy, and the question asked is actually a very simple question that is part of your Learning Unit 1. And I will go straight to the actual question. And within this particular conflict between the CEO and the CFO, yes, who is the financial manager, right? Okay, so in question point one, the 1.1 is asking you to name what kind of problem is this. So the problem caused by Mr. West, the financial manager, in proposing in going against the CEO of the company. What do you call that? It is in your textbook. Very simple. And as you can see, it's only 1 mark. Okay, so you just name the problem. And then in question 1.2, you have to discuss the problem that you named and how the company can solve this problem, right? So you discuss what this problem, so I would advise you to give a definition of this problem and what this problem is, what it entails, right? And then what you need to do is to provide a solution, right? Just make sure that you give a proper definition that will be 2 or 3 marks. Give a proper definition, and then each solutions that you're going to provide, let's say you are providing 3 solutions, you need now to name the solution and explain the solution, right? Explain how it's going to solve this problem, right? So I trust that that is clear. And then question 1.3, you're just going to list the 5 advantages and 5 disadvantages in your own word. There is a reason why it is in your own word, because the 5 advantages and 5 disadvantages are in your textbook. They are there in your textbook. We're not asking you to take them as they are, to copy them. Remember, you have to put them in your own word and reference it. You are a second year student. You know about referencing. Ensure that whatever you are doing, you are putting the in-text referencing, and you are also putting your reference list at the end of your assignment. Okay? In-text referencing and reference list. And it's very important for you to do that, to acknowledge that, this the word that you've written were inspired, were originate from your textbook or from any other sources. This is how you get more marks. But if you're not doing that, you are showing that you don't care about the proper process of writing, of doing academic writing. And similar to question 1, you have another case study that is provided to you, And question number two is about this professional accountant who's working for this company called Mombasa Limited, right? So you have the scenario that is given to you. Again, you know the reading of this, and it's quite clear. It's about this accountant finding quite a lot of irregularities in the company, right? It's very simple. She found irregularities. It is in line with your textbook and the theory that you have in your textbook. And therefore, the question 2.1 is also asked to you to name and to describe the principle that Mombasa restaurant is breaching. Because since there are so many irregularities that she has uncovered as the accountant, let me just make sure that Malaika is a she. Right, so Malaika has uncovered these irregularities. I just suppose that it's a she at the moment, right? So she has uncovered these irregularities. So now you need to name and describe the principle that Mombasa restaurant is breaching by selling non-halal products to halal only customers, right? So um, the company is catering for a specific niche market or target group, right? So these the consumers are probably from the Muslim confession because it's halal, and so the company is catering for these consumers, this target market, but what they've been doing is that they have not been offering the product that they're supposed to offer to their consumers, right? So what is this? What is this? What is this principle that the company is breaching? And question number two, therefore, comes back to question number one. So, in your own words, the importance of the principle you just mentioned in 2.1. What is the importance of it? For 3 marks, all right? Remember, question 2.1, you name it and then you describe it, 2 marks, right? And then question number two, what you're going to do is you're going to provide the importance of the principle that you just mentioned, right? And then question 2.3, you need to identify any 10 ethical issues in the case studies. You identify any 10 ethical issues in the case study above, right? So there is irregularities, right, that she uncovered. Now, what ethical issue is? So you're gonna go to your case study, you're gonna uncover each technical issue, each irregularity, and identify it to a particular technical issue and corresponded, sorry, to a particular technical issue. And that's it. And question number the last question for this section is 2.4. It says briefly discuss how Malaika, as a professional accountant, should have responded to the issues you mentioned. Remember, because she was told to keep quiet, right? Or lose her job. All right. How should she have responded to the issues you mentioned, right? So again, in your textbook, but again, make sure that you are doing in-text referencing, whatever you are borrowing from your textbook, reference the textbook. I advise you also to look to the purpose of an assignment is for you also to do a bit of research. Look also for other sources and check other sources to make sure that you can provide uh, 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 um, a solid answer to the your assignment questions, right? So please do that. And here you come to your final question, question number three, where you specifically have been appointed as the financial analyst of this company called Santos Limited. The following financial statements are provided to you. Which financial statements are we talking about? We are talking about the statement of financial position as at 31 December 2023. And there is a reason why they're providing it for 2 years, right? It's you know the reason for this is because when you have to calculate the average, you need to take the previous year and the year in question. So whatever you're going to do as calculation for 2022, you need also to look at 2021. All right. Whatever calculation you need to do for 2023, you need to look at 2022 also as well. All right. So, and this will become clear because in any case, let me just comment first of all on the financial position statement, which provides you the asset. As you can see, there is the non-current asset, and the non-current asset is the property, the plant, as well as the equipment. And then you have the current asset. So assets, you have non-current asset, current asset. Current asset is three things: inventory finished good, inventory raw materials, trade receivables, cash and cash component, right? So everything is provided. Four items for current asset. The addition of the two gives you the total asset, right? So the total asset here is the amount for the total asset for both year. And then you have equity and liability. Remember again, accounting 101. Total asset equal total equity plus total liability, right? So you can see that the total year should be also the total down year, and they provide it to you. They say total equity and total liability, as you can see, is the same thing as the total asset. So what shall you do now? Obviously, you're looking at equity. Equity, there's capital and reserves, share capital, and retained earnings. This is part of your equity. And for the liability, there you have it. You have non-current liability and current liability. Non-current liability, it's only one item. It's long-term loan that is provided to you. And then the current liability contains the trade creditors, the bills payable, and then the provision. Simple, simple. And then they also provide you a statement of comprehensive income. There you go. Statement of comprehensive income, you have the revenue, 40% of sales are on cash, by the way. Very important information to take into account, but you know how it works. So for the statement of comprehensive income, you have the revenue and then you have the cost of sales. You know that the revenue minus the cost of sales gives you the gross profit. So then if you have the gross profit and you have the revenue, you can easily find the cost of sales. Very easy, right? And then from the gross profit, you have the operating expenses. You minus the operating expenses from the gross profit, you obtain the profit from operations. Profit from operations. And then provided to you is the finance cost. So there is a finance cost there that is provided to you. So, okay, so from finance cost, so the profit from operation minusing the finance cost gives you the profit before tax. And we spoke about this, right? How to find the income tax expense. Because you know from your textbook what is the income tax for companies in South Africa, right? What is the income tax? So you need to double check because it's 28%, right? So go and check that. So you can find the income tax, which will give you the A and the B. So for 2022 and 2023, and then once you find the income tax, profit before tax minusing the income tax gives you the profit, the net profit of the year or the profit after tax, right? Easy. So you can find A, B, C, D, and you can find also the amount for cost of sales. So additional information, like I say, always pay attention to the additional information. You have depreciation that was included in the cost of sales and operating expenses. So the depreciation included in the cost of sales and operating expenses was 48,000. All right, in the cost of sales. 48,000 for 2023 and 46,000 for 2022. The cost of materials used was 820,000. So all these cost of materials, depreciations, and operating expenses were included in the cost of sales, right? Remember, we have already talked about how you can find that cost of sales, right? Dividends declared and paid amounted to, so there is interim dividend, obviously that is for 6 months, but the final dividend that was paid is 80,000 for 2023 and 98,000 for 2022. So this is provided to you. Now you're looking at the number of ordinary shares did not change. It's still the same. It's 43,400. Why are they giving you that? Because you can calculate the dividends that is paid out per share. Mhm. You can find the APS, uh, the earning per share. You can find the dividend per share. Ordinary shares are currently trading at 10 Rand per share in 2023, which is the price. So the price of those shares in 2023 is 10 Rand, and it was 8 Rand in 2022. The following amount appeared on the 31st December 2021. Like I said, there is certain things you will need to calculate the average. You take the previous year plus this year divided by 2. All right? That's why they're providing you the capital and reserves. They're providing you the trade receivables for 2021 so that when you're going to be calculating 2022, you can use this information for 2021. Finished good inventory. They're providing also the finished good inventory for 2021. Remember, finished good inventory providing you for 2021. So when you will do the calculation for your ratio for 2022, you will use, when you're looking for the average, you will use 2021 information. So 2021 plus 2022 divided by 2 provides you with the average. Very easy, right? Okay, so now what is required from you? Very important. What is the question that is required for you? So you calculate A to D, A, B, C, D. You need to calculate that 4 marks, 4 easy marks. Should not take your time. But the main bulk will be 3.2, which you need to calculate ratios, right? So have fun calculating these ratios. Net profit margin, all right. For 2022 and 2023, calculate the net profit margin, the return on asset, the return on average equity. On average equity. So what does it mean? You're going to take the equity for example, for 2022, you're going to have to take the information for 2021 plus 2022 divided by 2 in order to get an average. So what is the return on average equity? The gross profit margin, the data collection period. Remember for the datas, you have to find an average for the datas. Average finished good inventory turnover, average. Remember, when you're calculating for 2022, you will need information for 2021 plus 2022 divided by 2 gives you the average. For 2023, when you're calculating, you need information for 2022. So you're going to take 2022 information plus 2023 divided by 2 provide you with the average. I hope that this is clear. Okay, then you're going to look at earning per share, dividend per share, and price earning, PE, which you will need to calculate for both years. All right. So now that you've done the fun part, which also provides you the most marks, ensure that you show all your calculations. I don't want to guess where you got the answer. Show all your calculations, so show all the steps and round off your final answers to 2 decimal places. I trust that that's clear, right? Okay, so by analyzing investment ratios for Santos for the years ended 31st December, and so now which year was Santos Limited a good investment? So now you need to compare, right? You've done the calculations for the ratios. It was for fun, right? That was fun finding them. You have your textbook, look again at the formulas and make sure that you do your calculation properly and that you get the correct answers for both years. Now you can now compare both years. You can compare both years for 11 marks. Make sure that you're comparing the net profit. Make sure you're comparing the return asset for both year. So your return on asset for year 2022 and 2023, then you can compare both of them and what that means. Return on average equity for 2022 and 2023, you compare them and what that means. The gross profit margin for 2022 and 2023, you compare them and you tell us what that means. All right. So easy. I want all of you to get in the 90s. Ensure that you get the highest distinction for this. Trust me, a simple assignment like this will not always come back. So just make sure you really get the maximum out of this. And it can save you, like I said, for your CAS, you know, and it can save you also for your final mark. I know people who failed the year just because they missed their assignment. So ensure that you give me your best and get back to work.